Welcome back to Stuck Inside Gaming's playthrough of Alan Wake. In the last episode, we basically wandered around with the sheriff. Oh yeah, we ended the last episode, literally right there. And I wasn't even aware that it was going to end right there. And we got to witness more Barry being awesome. And now we gotta go find him and make sure he's okay from the evil trying to get him.
They're really taking advantage of your presence here, Wake. I heard they're selling a lot of your Alex Casey books.
Right now, I'm not a big fan of my own writing.
Some authors don't exactly like their own creations. I'd heard Stephen King was kind of similar, but he more hated the TV show based on his book than the actual Shining.
I don't see Barry.
Look! Wake! Maybe that's him. That's the way to the chopper.
Maybe that's him, or maybe he's dead back here. Look around! Make sure! Quit breathing! Not you, Barry. Please, breathe more. But quit breathing, woman! Whoever's breathing that is. Yeah. Yeah! No. Bad darkness. Coffee! The one thing just as important as Barry. Coffee. Ooh, manuscript page. Oh yeah, I was still gonna read those. I should probably take a couple moments to read that. Haven't heard
For
this
the
one.
moment, Barry was just glad he had survived the fall. He had been separated from Al, and there was no easy way to climb back up. He told himself he'd be okay in the gloomy forest at night. He would just have to wait for a while for Al to find his way down. Barry turned when he heard the heavy footsteps and saw the movement. The man-shaped shadow lunged at him from the bushes, an axe held high. Barry screamed and threw up his hand. The world exploded. Hartman watched as Wake's features slackened. The man was bullheaded, no doubt. Even lying on the bed, he'd almost broken Hartman's nose the second time. But with a little time, he could break Wake down, give him proper direction. Wake was easily the most promising subject he had had. Well, since Tom, really. Sleep well, Alan, Hartman whispered with a smile. Let me take care of you. He sniffed hard to clear his throbbing nose, swallowed blood, and barely tasted it.
Throat was dry.
Agent Nightingale stared at the passed-out rider. The man was sleeping off one hell of a night. Nightingale felt a stab of envy at Wake's oblivion, but he had a job to do. He put the gun to Wake's head and almost became a murderer. His hand shook and his throat felt tight and dry. Biting his teeth, he tried again to pull the trigger. He lost the nerve. Wake stirred. Nightingale would have to settle for an arrest.
Oh, so he almost killed us in our sleep.
The storm raged on as the Anderson brothers walked unsteadily away from the clinic with the other patients in tow, knowing that this time they wouldn't return. The darkness around them seethed with horrors, but Tor and Odin were unafraid. Their eyes glinted with guile. They knew every secret path, and there was blood on their hands. They had fought these shades before.
Oh.
The dark presence followed the choreography laid out to it in the manuscript, growing stronger and stronger, moving like a storm from one scene of destruction to the next. But it was still bound to follow the story and chained to the dark place it came from. When the story reached the end it longed for, it would finally be free.
But that's if it reaches the ending that it wants.
It's 1976. Madness reigns at the Anderson farm. Contrary to all logic, The headiest ingredient of their moonshine is unfiltered water from Cauldron Lake. The Andersons feel like gods. Odin can't stop laughing. He contemplates cutting his eye out. Tor runs across the field, naked, shrieking, hammer in his hand, trying to catch lightning. Their songs have power. Something ancient is stirring in the depths, coming back. Again, Alice's screams rang in the stillness of the night. I saw myself run toward the cabin, flashlight in my hand. I followed my past self. I was an out-of-body observer, a time traveler in a crazy drunken dream. This was the beginning. The night Alice had disappeared. The mystery of what had happened during the missing week was about to reveal itself.
And so it did. And so it will.
For a moment, Hartman considered strangling the idiot. Mott was mean-spirited, but easily manipulated. An emotional infant who lived for his approval. Wake, by contrast, was a far more difficult subject. Mott had given him too much leash. In 2 days, who knew what could happen? Hartman would have to find a way to rein him in, and quickly. Deputy Mulligan tuned Thornton's chatter out. He didn't think writers were particularly useful people, and a huge manhunt for one struck him as idiotic. Certainly not worth the missed opportunity for coffee and pie. It wasn't even clear what the man had done, except run from them at the trailer park. Mulligan knew he wasn't alone. The sheriff's patience with the Fed was running out. Nightingale tried to make sense of the manuscript. It was disjointed and strange. He didn't understand half of it, but it all rang true. Impossibly true. He took out his hip flask when he reached the page that described how he reached the page that made him take out his hip flask. It wasn't the booze that made his mind reel.
That was a very awkward way to word that.
Nightingale felt the situation veering out of his control, but the gun at least felt steady in his hands. He was ready to fire, resolved that he would let this happen over his dead body. And yet he hesitated. He had seen this moment before, read it in the page. He was transfixed by the déjà vu and the horror that he was a character in a story someone had written. Then the monstrous presence burst in behind him and dragged him into the night.
I feel like it'd be more impactful if there was a comma there. Then the monstrous presence burst in behind him and dragged him into the night. Or maybe just a pause, not so much a comma.
The darkness that wore Barbara Jagger's face was furious. The story in the manuscript had been making it stronger all the time, but now the light had set the writer free and hurt it, weakened it. It was only a matter of days before the dark presence would be strong again, but meanwhile, it would be difficult to recapture the writer.
Well, it's certainly been a few days.
Cynthia Weaver worked hard, following her obsessive rituals, sometimes fighting them, always giving in to them in the end. She haunted the halls of Bright Falls' abandoned power plant. She marked her caches with light-sensitive paint that could only be seen by eyes that had been touched by darkness and saved by light like she'd been. She was preparing defenses and supply lines for the war she knew would come. The war between the forces of light and darkness.
So the crazy lady's the one who's been painting shit. But who's breathing?
Barry got back to his feet inside the Bright Falls General Store and dusted himself off. Right next to the cans of baked beans was a locked case filled with flare guns, and yet here was a conveniently placed barrel of crowbars. Barry's smile widened as he realized that this was the classic movie scene where the hero had to gear up and arm himself to the teeth. Barry threw himself into the role.
All right, Barry! Yeah! That's all we got for now. The shotgun feels like it does more damage. I don't know if that's actually true, though. And those things get a lot closer a lot faster, so the range difference, it feels like the shotgun's a better bet.
I'm gonna give Pastor Howard a piece of my mind about this lock. Ugh, I told him to get it fixed.
Here they come. Let's take a flight. Free fatty acids are good for your heart.
That's good to know.
Where the hell did he go?
Nowhere. Nowhere at all. Come on, Speedy Gonzalez. Can't run forever.
Okay, it's open. Let's go, Wake.
How convenient.
Wow.
We keep them lit all night long on the night before Deerfest.
Why?
Well, it's tradition.
Okay, but why is it tradition? What caused tradition to be tradition? There's always a history behind tradition and
We're
why
almost
things
there.
became
We'll
the
have
way
to go
they
through
were.
the basement to get to the parking lot.
Yeah, there's no way going through the crypt will turn out to be a bad idea.
Oh, you want me to go first? Sometimes you just need to make a fight easier. Nice and toasty.
Did you call 911?
Guess that one saw the light, huh?
Yeah!
That one? A tough audience. Well, I got plenty more.
What are the Christmas lights for?
Protection, man. Like garlic against vampires.
And how are they powered
the
on?
helicopter's just across the parking lot and up the hill. Come on.
Do you have a portable party or portable battery pack on? Damn, Barry's awesome. I just want to make sure I actually got everything down here. Ah! I was hoping for a manuscript page, but coffee works just as fine. Oh, I can't hop in the big black van. The raccoons are missing now. We've kidnapped everybody. Now we're kidnapping the little bandits. The little trash bandits.
The Bright Falls General Store is now my favorite place in the entire world. See this headlamp? It's like a superpower. I can just look at one of those things and they die. It's my flaming eye of Mordor. I wish I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Hey, I want a headlamp.
Last one.
Bastard.
Aw. That's nice. They have fun. You can tell they're buds.
When someone throws a damn school bus at your head and you're about to take a helicopter ride with someone who may or may not have a pilot's license, you're cleared for departure to Night Springs. No offense, Sheriff.
No. Put it down. I said, put it down! How convenient of you to wait for me to turn.
Oh, I'm never gonna get used to this.
What, the monster's trying to kill us or having the superpower of a headlamp? Either works fine, but I'd like to be specific for the writing.
The helicopter's just up ahead. I'll need a while to prep for takeoff.
Don't take too
course you
long. I want to get out of here.
Alright, this is gonna be... No. Leave the chopper alone. Yeah.
Get ready. I'll hold them off.
No. Woo! Yeah! Eat it! All the things! Point. Point. Ow. and
You better
run.
put an end to this.
Just get me a Weaver, Sheriff.
You're taking a big chance on a local crazy lady, Al. I hope you're right about her, or we can kiss this town goodbye.
Isn't that what we've been trying to do this whole time, is kiss this town goodbye? I mean, yeah, we want to save Alice, but isn't that the whole point? To leave once we found her?
I hope you know how to deal with this, Wake. I guess you New Yorkers are used to rough situations like this.
Right, the city's a war zone. King Kong, mutant alligators, and Alex Casey shoots the place up every weekend. Look, I never even carried a gun until a couple of days ago.
Well, my dad used to be a cop there. Tells some pretty wild stories.
Stuff like this?
No, just normal bad stuff. Kinda like your books, Wake. I used to tease Dad that he was just like Alex Casey.
You've read me.
Oh, sure. You're a pretty good writer. A little heavy on the metaphors, maybe.
Nobody's ever said that before.
So that's
We're
your
coming
first
up on the power
legit
plant. See the
compliment.
lit building over there? And that's the dam further up the river. I can't land here. I'll take her down the road across the river.
Just get me there, Sheriff.
Hold on! Ow!
Bitch!
Don't you guards do away with Barry. Don't you dare. Oh, that's some BS. Aha. Batteries. All the ammo. No, just give me the crate. Give me the whole crate.
I had to do something about the chain. The door open.
Get away. Ow. Ooh, coffee. Aha! No. Woo. No. Yeah. Oh, I avoided that. dick. Grrr, so close. Nope. Oh shit. Yee. Yay. Not the shovel. Oh, that's BS. Yeah. Woo! That was a pain and a half. I don't like whatever that sparking is. Alright, now that we've made it through that and in here, I will call it there. So, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you like what you're seeing and the commentary. And as always, if we're stuck inside, we might as well game. Stay in the light and see you next time.